Just because during the day I held the hand of my autistic older sister, at night she quietly crawled into my blanket. So in the morning, the maid discovered the eldest miss, who had never stepped out of her room, was missing. Hearing the noisy commotion outside, I just opened my eyes and immediately felt a soft ball of fluff in my arms. I looked down and happened to meet the sparkling and bright eyes of Chu Yu. I sat up, looking confusedly at the kitten-like girl in the blanket. Sister, why are you here? I remember hearing people say, Chu Yu is afraid of crowds, so she never goes out. Chu Yu tilted her head, looking at me blankly. I seemed to be saying something, but she didn't understand. I smelled very good, giving her the urge to hug me. Before I could wait for Chu Yu's answer, the soft, kitten-like ball of fluff dove into my arms instead. Chu Yu hugged me tightly, not letting go, lifting her head to sniff the hollow of my neck, then peacefully snuggling into my chest. Last night when Chu Yu came, the door wasn't closed tight. Father Chu led people to knock on the door. Are you up yet? Without waiting for my answer, he pushed the door open. I turned my head to look, only to see Father Chu standing by the door, his face twisted in disbelief. Chu Yu was sitting on the bed, hugging me tightly, showing absolutely no reaction to the arrival of others, focused and obediently bowing her small head. Coming in with Father Chu were also Aunt Shang, Liu Li and Ji Yu. At first, the two of them found it very strange. Aren't we looking for Chu Yu? Why suddenly come to my room? Until they saw this scene, looking at me in shock. Chen Fan, what are you doing? Besides shock, they were also very angry. A teenage boy, hugging a girl early in the morning. Does he have no shame? Moreover, she is his sister in name. How could he seduce his own sister? Liu Li dared not look at Father Chu's reaction, wondering inwardly if Father Chu would feel Chen Fan is not a good boy, and thus alienate her as well. The more she thought, the more she found it an eyesore, wishing she could immediately pull me away. Ji Yu also couldn't believe Chu Yu was so intimate with me, although he pretended not to care on the surface. Deep down, he was belittling Chu Yu, but it was undeniable that the face of Chu Yu always deeply attracted him. Ji Yu glanced at me jealously, thinking to himself, he's just a kid, whom even his own mother finds annoying. Why does he deserve to be liked by Chu Yu, just like his mother, only knowing how to seduce others? Father Chu's expression was complex. Before coming, he actually didn't have much hope. Unexpectedly, he really saw his daughter in my room. He was happy, but also felt uncomfortable inside. Look at how tightly Chu Yu is hugging that boy. When will she ever be willing to hold this old father's hand? To say he wasn't jealous would be a lie, something he couldn't achieve in 19 years. This kid accomplished in less than a day. He felt a bit defeated. Father Chu forced a smile. His tone was also very gentle. Yu, come here with Dad. Chu Yu didn't budge at all, didn't even give him a glance. Father Chu's smile was about to crack. Your brother isn't up yet. Why are you disturbing him? Let's go back to your room first. Chu Yu turned her face away, burying it in the hollow of my shoulder. Too many people. Too noisy. I hate it. I keenly realized her emotions were unstable. Remembering the scene last night, I gently patted her back. It's okay. Don't be afraid. My voice was also soft and soothing. Chu Yu's body slowly relaxed. Father Chu thoroughly felt his own redundancy, but he still wanted to struggle a bit more. Since Chu Yu can be so close to this boy, I am her biological father. Shouldn't we be even closer? But Chu Yu clearly turned a deaf ear to his words. Father Chu had to speak to me. Chen Fan, you can't stay in your room forever. It's not very convenient. I nodded in agreement, so Chu Yu was pulled out by me. Go back with your dad. Chu Yu was a bit bewildered. Why isn't he hugging me anymore? He was clearly so proactive and gentle last night. Before she could think much, I had already stepped off the bed. She panicked a little and instinctively rushed to follow. Having not walked for a long time, her legs went jelly. I instinctively reached out to catch her. Chu Yu fell right into my arms. Holding a Rubik's Cube, she hid behind my back. Before meeting me, when alone, she loved playing with the Rubik's Cube the most. I gently soothed her. Don't rush. Take it slow. System. What's wrong with Chu Yu's legs? The system looked up the data for a moment. There's no major issue with her legs. It's just that she never exercises. So the Chu family made her a wheelchair. Father Chu stared at Chu Yu's legs in shock. It seems Yu really likes this boy named Chen Fan. This proves there's hope for Yu to become a normal person. However, this still requires help from that kid. Thinking this, Father Chu's gaze towards me became especially gentle. Chen Fan, you and Yu come to my study. Liu Li and Ji Yu watched helplessly as I stole the love and favor that belonged to them, both feeling a bit jealous inside. Chu Yu widened her doe-like eyes, one hand holding the Rubik's Cube, the other grasping the hem of my shirt, lifting her feet to follow. Father Chu saw this scene, feeling both annoyed and amused. The study was right upstairs, not far from Chu Yu's room. Usually when Father Chu worked, he could conveniently monitor her movements. Father Chu spoke first. I married your mother, precisely to give Yu a complete home. As you can see, Yu's mentality is a bit different from normal people. This is the first time I've seen Yu so close to someone. Even her late mother never received such treatment. So, Chen Fan, can you help Chu Yu? Help her become like a normal person, even if it's just no longer fearing and hating crowds. I fell silent for a moment. In the original plot, Chu Yu committed suicide. Instinctively, I held her hand tighter. The little girl was staring intently at the Rubik's Cube in her hand, feeling the back of her hand warm up. She looked at me blankly. She blinked and held out the Rubik's Cube. Father Chu watched her action, his eyes brightening. The Rubik's Cube meant the world to Chu Yu. It was the only thing that kept her company during countless silent, isolated days and nights. It was her most important toy. I patted her head and pushed the Rubik's Cube back towards her. I won't take it. Keep it for yourself. Chu Yu was a bit upset. She looked down at the Rubik's Cube in her hand, confused. Does he not like it? But this is the best thing she has. I turned to look at Father Chu. I agree with you, Dad. I will guide Yu properly. Father Chu was delighted. Then please play with Yu more often. Chu Yu understood and was very happy. So excited that the tips of her ears turned red, but she had nothing else to give. So she shoved the Rubik's Cube into my hand again. I smiled and put the Rubik's Cube in my pocket. Since she's so persistent, I'll take it. Since my talk with Father Chu in the study, I realized that now, anything related to Chu Yu, big or small, almost always goes through me. Every night I have to coax her to sleep. During the day when walking in the trend courtyard, there's always a little tail following behind. Later, even delivering meals was assigned to me. The reason is that Chu Yu is simply too clingy. Today, I was eating at the table. Aunt Zhang, with a grim expression, ran down in a panic. Master Chen, the eldest miss refuses to eat again. This is an old habit of Chu Yu that often recurs. Aunt Zhang was also very troubled, because Chu Yu's condition had been very good lately. In the morning, Aunt Zhang put food on her table and came down, thinking she would obediently eat it all. But when she went up to check just now, she found Chu Yu sitting gloomily alone in the corner, neither eating nor drinking. Father Chu's eating paused, looking at me with clear intent. I put down my bowl and chopsticks and said softly, "Let me go up and see." Liu Li and Ji Yu looked at me with ugly expressions. After I stood up to go upstairs, bowls and chopsticks were slammed onto the table. I am not eating anymore. My steps paused. My eyes turned a bit cold. Then I walked upstairs without looking back. Father Chu, out of respect for me, had softened his attitude towards Liu Li and Ji Yu quite a bit recently, but at this moment, he still couldn't help frowning. If you don't want to eat, then don't. Liu Li's face went stiff. Now her son looks down on her and opposes her. Does her husband not have any sympathy for her either? Ji Yu hurriedly stroked her back, speaking softly. Mom, don't be angry anymore. Dad's expression doesn't look very good. Liu Li was startled and recovered her composure. Her position in this house wasn't stable yet. She couldn't throw tantrums, so she smiled. Honey, I was just quick-tempered earlier. Please don't be angry. Father Chu nodded. Eat your food. I just walked through the door. The dim light made my eyes a bit uncomfortable. Turning on the light, I saw Chu Yu sitting in the corner, head bowed, silent, as if she had reverted to her original state. I walked over, glancing at the table beside her. Why aren't you eating? Chu Yu ignored me. Thinking for a bit, I probably understood the problem. It's because I went out, so she's angry. I looked at her pursed lips, then I'll head out first. Maybe I should let her calm down a bit. Just as I finished speaking, Chu Yu looked up in panic, standing up without thinking, rushing straight towards me. I was hit full in the chest. The two of us fell onto the bed together. I looked down and patted her head. What's wrong? She remained silent again. I felt a bit helpless. Chu Yu gripped my collar tightly, trying hard to burrow into my chest. I wasn't here all day today. She thought I had disappeared. I was stunned. Was she that scared? Rubbing her head, my tone gentle. Next time I go out, I'll let you know beforehand. Chu Yu looked up and opened her mouth. Chen Fan, don't go. I was a bit surprised. Chu Yu actually spoke. Before, I always unintentionally or intentionally guided her to speak. Chu Yu always looked at me with an innocent face. Unexpectedly, she spoke this time, maybe because she just started speaking. I misheard it as kiss kiss. I immediately lifted her face and bent down to kiss the corner of her mouth. All right. Kissed you. Chu Yu's whole body went stiff. Why did Chen Fan do that to me? Although the feeling was strange, but it felt quite comfortable. Chu Yu secretly glanced at me. I reached out to pull her up and sat her down in front of the table. Be good and eat. She slowly ate with a spoon. To take care of Chu Yu, The food brought was all liquid like porridge, but very nutritious. Chu Yu ate, while thinking about what just happened. I caught her sneaking glances, like a frightened little deer. She quickly lowered her head. Chu Yu didn't eat much, having not eaten all day. She could only eat half a small bowl now, rubbing her round belly. Chu Yu looked at me with sparkling eyes. My heart melted, reaching out to rub her head. Good girl. Chu Yu lowered her head, happily letting me stroke her head stroke after stroke. When she felt happy, her eyes would squint slightly, both bright and sparkling. Suddenly, I noticed she lifted her small head, staring at me unblinkingly. I was a bit puzzled. What is it? Chu Yu looked a bit urgent. I want a kiss. I awkwardly turned my head away, pretending not to hear. I have to go downstairs. Your dad is still waiting for me. After waiting for Chu Yu's emotions to stabilize, I quickly went downstairs. When I returned to the first floor, the other three hadn't finished eating yet. Clearly, they were all waiting for me. I nodded to the eagerly watching Father Chu. She ate. Father Chu was very happy, finding me more and more pleasing to the eye. Feeling this young man was truly handsome. The more he looked, the more satisfied he was. Clean, fair-skinned with exquisite features. It would be a waste if such a handsome boy wasn't his son-in-law. Chen Fan, sit over here with Dad. Hearing Father Chu's words, I took my rice bowl and sat down next to him. This drove Liu, Li, and Jiu crazy. Father Chu had never been this gentle with them. Usually, even calling him Dad, Father Chu would respond coldly. Jiu was going mad with jealousy. Looking at Father Chu, I think Brother Chen Fan is working a bit too hard taking care of Sister Yu. Moreover, Brother Chen Fan has his own things to do. If Sister Yu later on keeps clinging to Brother Chen Fan like today, it will be inconvenient for him. I looked up, looking at him emotionlessly. Jiu felt guilty. What kind of look is that? I am thinking for his sake. He turned to Father Chu. So I think, if Sister Yu could interact more with other people, wouldn't her attention be shifted? Father Chu's expression was a bit unhappy. What does that mean? Is his daughter a burden? Unhappy as he was. Actually, Jiu's words made some sense. Chen Fan is a young man, being around his sister all day. The key is that his sister's temperament isn't very good. 1 or 2 days is fine, but he might not be able to stand it for long. Father Chu fell silent for a moment. Jiu secretly rejoiced. Dad, I can come play with Sister Yu often. Father Chu took a sip of soup. If you want to go, then go, impliedly agreeing with Jiu. After eating, Father Chu went to the study to process documents. I took 2 steps before being called back by Liu Li. Honestly, Liu Li's mood was a bit complex. Earlier, at the dining table, Father Chu's behavior towards me made her a bit jealous. At the same time, she felt this previously invisible son had now become a pawn for her to vie for favor. In the few conversations between her and Father Chu, 8 out of 10 sentences were about me. This made Liu Li feel a bit unbalanced inside. The better I lived, the more it seemed to remind her that sending me to boarding school years ago was a mistake. She didn't understand why I couldn't be like before, timidly and cautiously pleasing her, obediently following her calling Mom. I was now just relying on flattering Chu Yu to get a little attention from Father Chu. That's all. She remembered just now, when dinner was about to end. Jiu pulled her aside and said, Mom, as long as my relationship with Sister Yu becomes as good as Chen Fan's, Dad will definitely like me more, right? This sentence awakened Lo. She thought if Chu Yu and Jiu had a good relationship, wouldn't it be even more beneficial for her? So, Liu Li looked at me. Chen Fan. I took a step back, looking at her suspiciously. Liu Li smiled. I hope you know, Mom still loves you. I looked at her speechlessly. Are you sick tonight? The smile on Liu Li's face froze. Indeed. Leaving for 6 years, his wings have hardened. He dares to talk to her like that. I was losing patience. If there's nothing else, I am leaving. I promised to go find Chu Yu just now. Liu Li calculated that it was almost time for Jiu, so she hurriedly waved her hand. Go. I glanced at her, retreating back, and turned to go upstairs. Just reached the 2nd floor. I met Jiu with a pale face, coming out of my room looking like he swallowed a fly. We stared at each other. Jiu huffed coldly, ignoring me. He quickly left. Did he take the wrong meds? I pushed the door open, and saw Chu Yu curled up in a ball on the sofa. Hearing the noise, she looked at me with grievances, hugged me. The things in the room were a bit messy. I roughly knew what had happened. Reaching out to hold her cold fingertips, I pulled her into my arms. Chu Yu was trembling a little. Her fear of crowds hadn't been cured yet. Only when I was here did she reluctantly snuggle into my arms, feeling a bit better. Moreover, she extremely hated Jiu's scent, as if it was a scent that clashed with her nature, held by me for a while. Chu Yu calmed down. I smelled very good. Her face blushed slightly, instinctively rubbing her palms. The only Rubik's Cube had already been given to me, resting her head on her knees. Why did you kiss me? Because I like you. Chu Yu's ears twitched slightly. Her cloudy eyes brightened a bit, looking up at my chin. Chen Fan likes me? Chu Yu used a little force. I went along, and was pushed down onto the sofa. Chu Yu licked her red lips, looking at me with sparkling eyes. Can I kiss you? Chu Yu blinked with longing. While speaking, her small hands tugged at my shirt. I looked at her and nodded. Chu Yu became even more flustered. How do I kiss? Seeing her silly appearance, I sighed, bent down and pressed my lips to hers. Gu, still unreconciled, came back, right in time to see this scene. He dropped his jaw in shock. Chen Fan is truly shameless. Does he not know what his relationship with Chu Yu is? Gu realized something. No wonder you're willing to be around all day. Someone's sick in the head. Turns out you clearly have bad intentions. Gu squatted by the door crack, sneaking a peek at me, trying hard to suppress his emotions, quietly leaving the crime scene, thinking to himself that if Dad finds out, whether you can still cling to Sister Yu like this every day. Thinking of this, Gu's steps became lighter. He was impatient to see you being kicked out of the house by Father Chu, like being sent to boarding school before. That kind of place is where someone like you belongs. I paused for a moment. Chu Yu, dazed from the kiss, opened her eyes in confusion. Dissatisfied, she wrapped her arms around my neck. Want to kiss more? My expression softened. I pecked her slightly pouting lips. All right. You need to rest. Chu Yu widened her dark, misty eyes, looking at me without saying a word. I reached out and poked her forehead gently, pushing her head away a little, whispering, "Be good. We'll kiss again next time." Hearing that, Chu Yu obediently pulled her head back, climbed onto the bed and obediently pulled up the blanket. She patted the spot next to her. Chen Fan. Sleep. Oh well, once is the same, twice makes no difference. We slept together last time. Anyway, resigned. I kept my pajamas on and lay down under the covers. The girl next to me immediately rolled over like a little cat, burrowing right into my arms, hugging my waist tightly. Meanwhile, Jiwoo hurriedly went to Father Chu's study. Jiwoo believed that, once Father Chu knew what I did to Chu Yu, he definitely wouldn't let the two of us interact anymore. When Father Chu heard the knock on the door, he had just put down the phone. He was in a somewhat bad mood. Jiwoo poked his head in. Dad. It's me. Jiwoo walked up to Father Chu's desk, completely failing to notice the disgust in his eyes. Dad. Are you busy? Father Chu looked up slightly, looking tired. Can't you see? Documents are piling up like a mountain on the desk. Dad. I just went to visit Sister Yu. Jiwoo spoke slowly. Hearing it was about Chu Yu, Father Chu's expression softened a bit. That's thoughtful of you, but his tone still revealed perfunctoriness. Jiwoo frowned, a bit dissatisfied. If it were Chen Fan, Dad would definitely have a different expression. He suppressed his emotions and continued. Dad, Sister Yu still isn't very close to me. Father Chu didn't care much. That's normal. She isn't even close to her own father. Jiwoo's expression looked a bit ugly. He pretended to say casually, I am really jealous of Chen Fan. Just now, I saw Chen Fan and Sister Yu hugging. Chen Fan even kissed her. Hearing this, Father Chu was extremely shocked. He couldn't help but stand up abruptly. What did you just say? Chen Fan and Yu kissed? Jiwoo nodded, feigning surprise. Yes, right in Chen Fan's room. Father Chu's expression turned serious. He lowered his voice. Do not speak of this to anyone outside. Jiwoo looked at Father Chu's expression, nodded in satisfaction, pretending to be confused but still obediently agreeing. After Jiwoo left, the joy in Father Chu's heart finally exploded. So exciting. Chen Fan is really going to become my son-in-law. He pondered what greeting gift to give. Thinking it over, Father Chu felt something wasn't quite right. I still need to ask clearly first. What if Chen Fan just sees her as a confused sister, and was just comforting her intimately? Father Chu calmed down and sat back in his chair. Looks like I need to investigate clearly. Early the next morning, I was called to the study. Jiwoo looked at me gloatingly. Chen Fan, make sure you don't get angry. I nodded, ignoring his gloating. Jiwoo watched my calm and composed retreating figure, feeling like he punched cotton. At the same time, Liu Li looked at Jiwoo blankly. What happened? Jiwoo scratched his head and said vaguely, Mom. It's nothing. Chen Fan probably did something wrong. Liu Li didn't ask anymore. She didn't care about my affairs anyway. If I got scolded, she would only feel satisfied. When I walked into Father Chu's study, Father Chu was thinking how to probe my views on Chu Yu. He put down the document in his hand, looking kind. Chen Fan, have you eaten yet? I've eaten, I replied politely. Father Chu nodded, coughed lightly, then got straight to the point. Chen Fan, what do you think of our Yu? I thought seriously for a moment. Chu Yu. She is very good. Father Chu was preparing to listen to my opinion. Hearing that, His face stiffened. Just that reaction? Shouldn't you mention the person you like, and then couldn't help but smile? You can't hide it when you like someone. Could it be that I don't like Chu Yu? He was secretly disappointed, but thinking about the future. His daughter might very well be like this for life. He felt he couldn't harm someone else's son, no matter what. This kid still looked very pleasing to his eyes. Chen Fan. Do you want anything? I thought Father Chu called me here this time to throw a 1 to million check at me and force me to leave his daughter. But Father Chu asked some strange questions and said he wanted to give me a gift. I didn't speak for a moment. Then I thought about it. Even if he throws 1, he should throw 10 million. My eyes lit up slightly. Looking at Father Chu, I asked, how do I make money? Father Chu hesitated a bit. This kid really has guts. How can I reveal company business matters? Seeing my humble attitude asking for guidance, Father Chu softened. Although I can't talk about company matters, I can give advice. If you want to make money, you can play the stock market, but the risk is very high. Easy to earn, but also easy to lose. For a young man like me, with a few pointers from him, making some pocket money shouldn't be a problem. As for big money, with the Chu family here, would I ever go hungry? Father Chu showed me the stock market. Several stocks were rising continuously. Look, these stocks have very good momentum. I nodded. My eyes glanced at the green stock at the bottom. Father Chu followed my gaze. This stock is very unstable. It fluctuates up and down. The risk is too high. Father Chu thought again. Buying stocks requires capital. Chen Fan, do you have money? If not, Dad will give you some. I nodded. I have some. So how much do you have? He knew a bit about my past life. He thought that having money meant just a few thousand or 10,000. I opened my phone to show him the balance. A long string of zeros. He stared at me blankly. This much, where did you get the money? Before he could react, I had already operated on his computer for a while. In the blink of an eye, the purchase was completed. Father Chu looked at me in surprise. Which code did you buy? I looked at him. That green code you just mentioned. Father Chu sighed helplessly. It's okay. You probably didn't buy much, right? I stood up and replied calmly. I bought it all. Father Chu looked completely helpless. What a prodigal son. He thought about it, but finally gave up on persuading. Oh well, young people don't understand. It's just a few tens of millions. If the money is lost, then so be it. If you don't have enough to spend, just come to Dad. I looked at Father Chu, feeling that he is a good person. So before leaving, I reminded him, Dad, how about finding a time to divorce Liu Li? Father Chu was stunned. Not understanding why I said that, I added, her luck is bad. She brings bad luck to her husband. Father Chu silently watched my retreating figure. Are these two really mother and son? They aren't enemies, are they? Thinking for a while, he remembered what happened at the company recently. Could she really be bringing bad luck to her husband? He shook his head, feeling a bit amused. Since when did he believe in this stuff? Besides, he's already married to her. Liu Li hasn't made any major mistakes either. He absolutely wouldn't abandon her casually. I returned to my room. Just as I stepped in the door, a soft, warm body like a koala hung onto me. At this moment, she looked very well behaved, quietly rubbing against me. Chu Yu yawned drowsily, following my scent to stick to me. Where did Chen Fan go? Don't want Chen Fan to leave me, not even for a minute. I thought about it, feeling that she is much better now. We can try contacting people other than me. After Chu Yu finished washing up and changed clothes, I led her downstairs. At first, she was extremely obedient, until the elevator kept going down, and I just stood by the elevator door. Chu Yu panicked. Why did Chen Fan let her go down alone? Does Chen Fan want to abandon her? She banged on the transparent glass elevator door, her eyes red. Chu Yu watched helplessly. My face gradually disappeared before her eyes, blankly clutching the hem of her clothes. The elevator went down to the first floor and opened. Faint sounds of servants in the villa courtyard drifted in. She squatted in the corner in fear. Why did Chen Fan leave her alone? Auntie Zhang was busy in the kitchen, vaguely heard the elevator sound, but didn't hear any footsteps. She walked out suspiciously. The elevator door was open. A fragile, thin girl was curled up in the corner. Auntie Zhang was startled, wanted to go forward and pull her up, but thinking of her personality, so she stood at the elevator door and asked, Eldest miss, why are you here alone? Where is young Master Chen Fan? Chu Yu hugged her arms, her eyes red. Saying nothing, Auntie Zhang looked into the elevator. He really wasn't there. Just as she finished speaking, she heard Chu Yu suppressed, aggrieved sobbing, like a small beast lost from its pack in the forest, repressed and painful. Hearing it made Auntie Zhang's heart ache. At this moment, she began to complain. Why did young Master Chen Fan leave the eldest miss here alone? But thinking back, young Master Chen Fan isn't such an inconsiderate person. Chu Yu's sobbing quickly attracted Liu Li and Ji Wu. As soon as Ji Woo saw Chu Yu, he remembered her disgusted and fierce appearance before. He frowned. Did Dad explain everything to Chen Fan? Chen Fan is being kicked out now. That's why Sister Yu is so heartbroken. Thinking of this, his eyes lit up. Sister Yu, although Chen Fan is leaving soon, but you still have me. There are also Mom and Dad and Auntie Zhang. Everyone will treat you well. Liu Li was slightly stunned. Chen Fan is leaving soon? Their words completely agitated Chu Yu just as they finished speaking. The sobbing that was originally suppressed became clearer. Liu Li's face stiffened, hurriedly denied. It wasn't me who made her cry. I waited at the stairs for a while. Seeing no one, I was a bit annoyed. Suddenly, a sorrowful sobbing sound came over. I, who was standing still, vanished in the blink of an eye. Auntie Zhang and the others were awkward. Eldest Miss has never been like this before. What should we do now? While they were panicked and afraid, they saw my figure. Auntie Zhang said joyfully, Eldest Miss, young Master Chen Fan is here. Chu Yu couldn't hear the surrounding sounds at all. She only remembered someone saying Chen Fan was leaving soon. Chen Fan lied to her. He wouldn't be with her anymore. I took 2 steps forward and squatted down beside her. Why are you crying? Chu Yu's body stiffened. Her trembling nose twitched slightly. It's a familiar scent. She looked up, crying until her eyes and nose were red, looking full of resentment. Chen Fan, don't go. Okay. I really like you. She hiccuped as she spoke, extremely aggrieved and pitiful. I patted her back. My voice was gentle. I am not leaving. Chu Yu sobbed. Chen Fan is a liar. I lowered my head and wiped her tears. I am not lying to you, really. I was standing on the stairs looking at you just now. I didn't abandon you. Rarely do I explain so much. Chu Yu finally stopped crying, leaning tiredly into my arms. Chen Fan, I am tired. I picked her up and carried her upstairs. The 3 people around looked with complex expressions. Auntie Zhang felt it was a bit incredible, even without blood relations. Isn't this kind of action a bit inappropriate? This relationship is a bit strange. Auntie Zhang sighed. Young Master Chen Fan, please be more careful next time. Don't leave the eldest miss alone again. I was just about to press the elevator button. Liu Li, quick of eye and hand, blocked me. Wait, do you know what you were doing? If she hadn't seen it with her own eyes, she wouldn't dare believe I dared to seduce Chu Yu. I held Chu Yu with one hand, reached out with the other and pressed on Liu Li's arm. I just pushed gently. Liu Li tumbled out of the elevator. Liu Li looked at me with a bewildered face. How dare you raise a hand against your mother? So annoying. I looked at her coldly. Liu Li, you are really too annoying. Ji Woo glared at me. Why hasn't Chen Fan been sent away yet? Why can he kiss Chu Yu? What kind of father is Father Chu anyway? Letting this hungry wolf ogle his daughter? Because of anger, Ji Woo didn't even bother to comfort Liu Li, watching helplessly as I carried Chu Yu upstairs. Too angry, he grabbed his phone and went out. He was angry, wanted to go drink to relieve his sorrow. Fusheng, a famous bar in Hua City. Consumption levels are frighteningly high. It's the most famous money-burning cave in Hua City. Before, Ji Woo only dared to think about it. Now he has money. With the Chu family, where can't he go? The plan to kick me out failed. Ji Woo was very unhappy. Drank several glasses of wine brought by the bartender in a row. Several frivolous rich young ladies approached. Little brother, are you here alone? The approach of women made Ji Woo feel a bit floaty. See that? Clearly Chu Yu has no taste. Sure enough. Everyone likes me. Ji Woo took a sip of wine. It has nothing to do with you. The rich ladies felt an itch in their hearts looking at him. This is interesting. Touching the corner of her mouth, the woman leaned in a bit closer. Don't be so heartless. Handsome. Indeed, these people are all conquered by my charm. Suppressing the rage and smugness in his heart, Ji Woo warned them to stay away from him. I am telling you, I am very fierce. Those people laughed and bowed their heads. Little brother is really cute. Not far away. Liu Ruyan tipped her head back and down her drink. When Ji Woo walked in, she had already noticed him. Strange, he's clearly not that handsome, not particularly special either, even quite stupid. Just like how she didn't know why she came to Fusheng tonight. Just glanced and saw him. Hearing the sounds coming from over there, Liu Ruyan sneered. Her eyes held a bit of mockery. She could see through those little thoughts with one glance. Truly a man fake to the extreme. Liu Ruyan felt a bit bored, placed the empty glass on the bar counter, preparing to leave. Just 2 steps away, she heard quite a commotion from over there. Ji Woo naturally enjoyed the flattery of women, but if a woman's looks weren't up to par, he wouldn't consider it. Ji Woo, prepared to pay and leave, only. After the waiter swiped the card, his expression was a bit strange. Sir, your card has insufficient funds. How is that possible? Father Chu gave him this card. Pocket money is 20 or 30,000 every day. How could it not be enough? Ji Woo glanced at the bill in panic. A glass of wine ranged from 8,000 to 30,000. unlimited, and he dazedly drank 7 or 8 glasses in a row, given to him by the bartender, specially mixed expensive ones. Ji-woo's face was a bit ugly. It's all because Father Chu is too biased. Money given to his biological son isn't even enough for a few drinks. If it were Chen Fan who came today, would this situation happen? The wealthy young ladies felt disappointed, just about to leave when they encountered this. Hey, there's a good show to watch. The leading woman had a somewhat arrogant expression. Such a tiny bar, how dare it be like this? Daring to bully our cute and kind little brother. Ji-woo lowered his head in embarrassment, at the same time, feeling a bit grateful. The rich young lady took out her card. Take it, and swipe it. Ji-woo looked at her gratefully. Thank you. You are a good person. The woman narrowed her eyes, enjoying it. Of course, seeing such a cute little brother being bullied, anyone would step in to help. The woman glanced at him. Are you leaving? Do you need me to see you off for a segment? Ji-woo's face stiffened. No need. Not going with strangers late at night. He still had this bit of safety awareness. The woman's face darkened. Didn't you just say I was a good person? What's wrong with seeing you off for a bit? Ji-woo intuitively felt something was wrong. At this moment, the woman had already regarded Ji-woo as a gigolo. No money, but still insisting on coming to luxury places. Ji-woo felt it wasn't good. I have to go home. My family will be worried about me. The others also gathered around. Ji-woo looked fearfully at the waiter. His eyes were very clear. Save me, but was rejected. Ji-woo was a bit desperate. If anyone could save him right now, he would definitely repay them with his body. Just as the rich young lady's hand was about to touch Ji-woo, suddenly a strong hand held him back. Stop it. The woman's voice was cold. Just hearing it felt like falling into an ice cellar. The rich young lady was a bit angry. Which bastard dares to ruin her good time? Turning her head to look, she was almost scared out of her wits. Sister Liu. Liu Ruyan is a famous new wealthy businesswoman in Hua City. Tough methods, very talented. In recent years, the Liu family's power has been very strong, vaguely trending to be on par with the Chu family. The rich young lady didn't dare to provoke her. I am sorry. I didn't know this was the person you are protecting. Without waiting for her to speak, those people left the bar dejectedly. Honestly, Liu Ruyan didn't know why she came over to help either. She looked at Ji-woo and said, You're okay, right? Ji-woo's eyes lit up. Liu Ruyan's beauty was different from Chu Yu's, but both made people's hearts flutter equally. Moreover, those people were very afraid of her just now. Her identity is definitely very powerful. Ji-woo instantly felt he had fallen in love. The Chu family. Chu Yu was probably tired from crying. Leaning into my arms, sleeping soundly, I placed her on the bed, tucked the blanket in carefully. Just a moment later, she frowned uneasily, whimpering softly. She looked heartbreakingly pitiful. I reached out and touched her forehead. Seems like a fever. Father Chu was extremely worried. Hurriedly called the family doctor. Chu Yu blinked, staring intently at me. If Father Chu hadn't walked in, I wouldn't have noticed she had been watching me for so long. I touched her forehead again to check. Fever's gone. Just as I was about to pull my hand back, Chu Yu quickly grabbed it tight. Her dark pupils shone brightly like precious gems. Father Chu had been standing to the side the whole time. He gave us a sour look, then reluctantly withdrew, looking like he didn't want to leave. I rubbed Chu Yu's small face. Rest well and get better. I want Chen Fan to stay with me, Chu Yu said coquettishly. I looked down at her from above. You're over 18 now. You're an adult. Chu Yu blinked. Chen Fan? I looked completely helpless, decisively climbed onto the bed. Chu Yu leaned in closely. Satisfied. Chen Fan. I closed my eyes. It's very late. Go to sleep. Chu Yu pursed her lips, looking so pitiful. For a long while, I didn't look at her. With a disappointed look, she turned over, softly opening her mouth. Good night, Chen Fan. When I woke up the next day, I was dragged away in a hurry by Father Chu. The two of us sat in the study. Father Chu's expression was very serious. The market has opened. I looked at him with unusually calm demeanor. Yes. Father Chu thought I probably didn't know the result yet, so I wasn't paying much attention. He took a deep breath, trying to calm himself down a bit. Chen Fan, you're rich. You bought in over 80 million in total. And everything has turned around. That stock, around 12 o'clock yesterday, suddenly skyrocketed, shooting up swiftly. By the opening this morning, it was dominating the other codes. Father Chu looked at me. How did you do it? I looked calm. Guess I just got lucky. Father Chu just thought I was joking. However, that stock is very unstable. Saying it was picked on purpose doesn't seem very logical. So Chen Fan, when do you plan to sell? I thought for a moment. Right now. Is that okay, Dad? Although Father Chu saw the stock's momentum was very strong and could totally sell when it peaked. But if you say sell, we sell. It's just pocket change anyway. So, I sold the stocks and doubled the return. I am definitely a little rich man now, feeling that making money is actually quite easy. It's almost like whatever I buy goes up. In just over a short month, I've made money, hand over fist. Over this past month, Chu Yu's symptoms of fearing strangers have improved a lot, but she still gets scared when people pass by. I felt it wasn't necessary. If it can't be cured, then so be it. It'll be by her side anyway. I no longer intentionally made Chu Yu interact with others. Father Chu's company has been a bit busy lately. He hasn't been home for a few days. Liu Lai was anxious and impatient all day, asking Xiao Yu, your dad hasn't been home for so many days. Tell me, is there someone else outside, eating my meal? I couldn't help but roll my eyes. Don't you know in your heart who he's working overtime for? If it weren't for a damn jinx like you, would my future father-in-law be this busy? Whether there's someone else or not, you shouldn't ask in front of your son like that. I swallowed my food with an emotionless face. I told Aunt Zhang to prepare dinner for Chu Yu, carried the food and went straight upstairs. Liu Li frowned when she saw my action. Chen Fan, you stand right there. Mom hasn't finished eating and you're leaving? Do you know what manners are? Father Chu wasn't home. Liu Li had found me more of an eyesore these past 2 days. I didn't bother paying attention to her. Calmly walked upstairs. Unfilial thing, she said angrily. As soon as I left, she looked at Ji Yu again. Xiao Yu, your dad wouldn't really find someone else, would he? Ji Yu was speechless inside. How would I? No? Then, he smiled and said, no, he wouldn't. At this moment, Ji Yu also had things on his mind. He had no mind to comfort her. He remembered the woman who fascinated him that night. The flame of love in his heart couldn't help but flare up. He really wanted to see her again. Pity that she was a bit arrogant that night. She didn't give him her contact info. He remembered that wealthy young lady calling her sister Liu. Could this be a clue she left for him? Did she want him to contact her himself? Thinking of this, Ji Yu couldn't swallow his food anymore. Hurriedly said a sentence and ran upstairs. At this time, Liu Ruyan was organizing the pile of documents on her desk. Recently, the Chu enterprise had some issues. It just happened to be an opportunity for her to expand the market further. The phone beside her rang. Without thinking much, Liu Ruyan picked up. Ji Yu's voice came from the other end. Guess who I am? Liu. Ruyan looked closely at the screen. Her memory was very good. It was indeed a voice she had never heard before, and a number she had never seen. Thinking it was a wrong number, she hung up conveniently. Continued reading the documents. Ji Yu heard the busy tone on the phone, eyes wide open in disbelief. She actually hung up on him. Ji Yu curled his lips. Fine. This is the arrogance of a successful woman. Thinking of the documents he investigated. Liu Ruyan, a famous businesswoman, a figure who could almost match Father Chu. His heart beat violently. A woman like this, what does Chen Fan have to compare with me? Then Ji Yu called again. After being hung up on many times, Liu Ruyan impatiently picked up. Her voice was cold and full of pressure. Sir, you have the wrong number. Her voice is so seductive too. Sweet bubbles rose in Ji Yu's heart. So hateful. I didn't call the wrong number. Sister Liu. Liu Ruyan, who was always calm. Her cold face cracked in an instant. The next second she hung up. Then with lightning speed, quickly blocked the number. The assistant pushed the door open to deliver documents. Froze when seeing Liu Ruyan's pale face. Sister Liu, are you not feeling well? Liu Ruyan shook her head. Her eyes still held a bit of panic. No, just received a call from the mental hospital. Over here, Ji Yu was a bit disappointed, but instinctually, he didn't want to give up. He had to plan this well, so he turned around, intending to go to Fusheng to investigate. Just as he went out, he met me, leading Chu Yu down for a walk after the meal. I always lead Chu Yu for a walk in the garden. His own romance hadn't gone anywhere yet. Ji Yu felt annoyed whenever he saw Chu Yu clinging to me. Originally, he liked Chu Yu's older sister. I also saw Ji Yu's resentful look, glanced at him once, then ignored him. Ji Yu followed behind the two of us. Chen Fan, recently, a very outstanding woman is pursuing me. I am asking you, should I agree? Ji Yu just didn't want to lose to me. I didn't even turn my head. What's it to do with me? Ji Yu brushed his hair. Can't say that. I am your brother. Of course I have to share good news with you. You don't know. She's very beautiful and very rich. I heard she's someone who can confront the Chu enterprise as an equal. Ji Yu was very confident she would definitely fall for him. I frowned. His nagging appearance was really annoying. Then I think you shouldn't be with her. Ji Yu froze, instinctively asking why. A competitor of the Chu enterprise. Who will you help then? I blurted out. Ji Yu only thought of this point now, but he felt this wasn't a problem. Quickly calmed down. I believe after she's with me, she definitely won't compete with the Chu enterprise anymore. So don't even try to drive a wedge between Dad and me, as long as you're happy. I said calmly. Ji Yu huffed coldly. I think you're just jealous. After all, the one you found is just a retard with brain problems. I felt my palm being squeezed tighter. Chu Yu could understand. My eyes turned a few degrees colder, only heard Ji-yu scream miserably, stumbled once and rolled straight down the stairs. Ji-yu was immediately in too much pain to speak. Hearing the noise, Liu Li poked her head out from upstairs, only to see me standing at the stairs, looking at Ji-yu lying on the ground with cold eyes. She screamed, "Aunt Zhang," calling out while staggering down. Aunt Zhang wiped her hands, a bit impatient. "What's wrong?" Turning her head and seeing the lying posture, Ji-yu twisted on the ground, startling her. Although she didn't like this mother and son much, she never wished for something to happen to them, and helped Liu Li lift him up. Aunt Zhang contacted the family doctor. Done with all this. Liu Li looked coldly at me, who was indifferent. "You stand right there." Her voice was colder than ever this time. I rubbed the back of Chu Yu's frightened hand, turned back and said, "Keep your voice down." Liu Li looked towards Chu Yu. Suppressing the anger in her heart, she asked coldly, "Did you push your brother down?" I replied indifferently, "No. I was walking in front of him just now." Liu Li snapped, "You're still lying. Only the two of you were there. Did Xiao Yu fall by himself?" Liu Li spoke, spittle flying. I couldn't help reminding her, "Ji-yu isn't dead yet." Liu Li glared, "You still want to curse Xiao Yu to die? You're a child. How is your heart so vicious?" She was so angry she was about to poke her finger at me. The thing that came out of her own belly didn't make her like him one bit. My face was cold, just as I was about to dodge. Yu was so anxious her eyes turned red, spread her arms to shield me behind her. "Don't bully Chen Fan." Liu Li's face stiffened. Yu, step aside. I am teaching my son a lesson. What is a fool like you joining in for?" Liu Li reached out to pull me out. Chu Yu looked at her. I said, "Don't bully Chen Fan." The girl's eye sockets were still a bit red. Those eyes, usually misty and warm, were now dark enough to be scary. Liu Li instinctively pulled her hand back. Just at this moment, Father Chu, back late from overtime, walked into the house. He was buried in work at the company. Usually, it was smooth sailing. Hadn't encountered such a serial crisis in a long time. Not only were there business problems, the project was also leaked. Now the land being bid on was being squeezed by the Liu Group day and night. Several investors heard a little disturbance and planned to withdraw capital. Father Chu was very tired, but as soon as he entered the door, welcoming him wasn't filial children, but his newlywed wife crying and making a scene. He rubbed his glabella, looking a bit impatient. Liu Li was crying loudly, wanting to lean on her husband for some warmth. Father Chu stepped back with an emotionless face. Liu Li wiped her tears. Chen Fan pushed Xiao Yu down the stairs. "He is committing murder. Tell me, why did I give birth to such a karmic obstacle? He can even do something like murder." Father Chu's face was tense. "Is Ji-yu dead?" Liu Li's face froze, looked at him in disbelief. "How is that possible?" Father Chu breathed a sigh of relief. "Not dead yet. Then why do you keep opening your mouth about murder?" Liu Li felt aggrieved. Father Chu's attitude towards her lately was getting colder. She suspected if I had badmouthed her, remembering Father Chu hadn't been home for days. Liu Li didn't care about J.U. anymore. "Hubby, why haven't you come home these past few days?" Father Chu didn't know what she was thinking. Something happened at the company recently. Liu Li panicked a little. Her two previous husbands, when things happened, also said that to her. Liu Li asked indirectly, "Probably nothing big, right?" Father Chu didn't want to say much to her. He said gently, "Chen Fan, your mom said you pushed Ji-yu down the stairs. Can you show us the surveillance camera?" Afraid I would misunderstand, he explained further. "Dad trusts you, of course. Just afraid Liu Li won't let it go." Liu Li looked arrogant. It must be him. Why check the camera? Father Chu's face was already very ugly. Glared once. Liu Li pouted and followed. In the camera, Ji-yu's sentence about only finding a retard rang out clearly. Then he suddenly screamed miserably and rolled down the stairs. Liu Li's face was full of disbelief. How is that possible? Father Chu's face had turned black. What Ji-yu meant by that sentence, he knew better than anyone. Sweet-talking sister this, sister that to his face, unexpectedly looking down on Chu Yu, like that behind his back, and that person holding power in the company he mentioned. Father Chu instinctively thought of Liu Ruyan. The company had many incidents recently. My words about Liu Li cursing her husband still echoed in his ears. Father Chu now started to suspect. Did this mother and son come to sabotage him on purpose? His gaze towards Liu Li also turned cold. "Eat more walnuts when you're free, so you don't look like an idiot all day. Can't raise your own child well, but go be a stepmother to others." Liu Li panicked and wanted to hold Father Chu's hand. "Hubby, I was wrong. It's because Chen Fan has done this many times before. I was just so angry I lost my mind. I led Chu Yu out, afraid if I looked any longer, I couldn't help but beat someone up right in front of Father Chu." Father Chu didn't wait for Liu Li to finish before turning away. Liu Li's expression was ugly. even a bit bewildered. Why did her son and husband treat her like this? She walked out of the monitoring room. The house was empty. Looking at it made her panic. Ji-yu didn't fall too heavily. The pain had subsided. Seeing Liu Li come in, he said coquettishly, "Mom, Chen Fan pushed me down the stairs. Why is he so evil?" Liu Li hesitated a bit, then said, "Check the camera. Chen Fan didn't push you. How is that possible?" "It was Chen Fan who pushed me." "Mom, tell Dad quickly. Chen Fan is too bad. Can't let him stay in the house." Mentioning Father Chu, Liu Li's mood worsened. Her eyes were a bit cold. "But Xiao Yu, why did you say Chu Yu like that?" If he hadn't said that, Father Chu wouldn't be so angry and wouldn't have implicated her. Thinking of Father Chu's attitude towards her, Liu Li looked at Ji Yu with some resentment. Ji Yu's heart skipped a beat. He understood very well that Liu Li was love-struck. Not only love-struck but also money-grubbing. If anyone dared to obstruct her love and money, she would immediately turn hostile and deny her kin. Liu Li was the only bridge keeping him in the Chu family. He couldn't let Liu Li have a grudge against him. Ji Yu said aggrievedly, "Mom, are you blaming me? But the person I spoke of wasn't Sister Chu Yu. Did Chen Fan say something to you?" Liu Li didn't believe it. Stood there dazed, dropping her hands. Expression collapsed. "Chen Fan is always like that. I heard him bad-mouthing Mom to Dad before. Now he's bad-mouthing me." Ji Yu pretended to be innocent. Liu Li was startled inside. "What did you say?" Ji Yu covered his mouth. "Did I say something wrong?" Liu Li's face was ugly. "You didn't say anything wrong." She kept wondering why she cared so much about Father Chu, why Father Chu was always cold to her. Turned out it was because of this villain Chen Fan. Ji Yu breathed a sigh of relief. Seeing Liu Li's ugly face, innocently and inadvertently complained. He even called Mom a jinx. Clearly, it's because of Chen Fan that everyone runs into trouble. "Mom, isn't it Chen Fan who's tainted with something unclean?" The jinx was Ji Yu's own thought, but he didn't mind shifting the blame to me. Liu Li froze, hearing the word jinx. Hearing the second half of Ji Yu's sentence, she suddenly realized Chen Fan was present during the fortune-telling. Maybe the person the fortune-teller mentioned was Chen Fan. After all, when Chen Fan's dad had the accident, Chen Fan was there too. Later, it was also when she brought Chen Fan to the Ji family that the Ji family had trouble. Based on what to say, she was the one cursing her husband, not Chen Fan. The words "curse husband" were like a thorn, stabbing into Liu Li's heart, tormenting her every night. "Mom misunderstood you. Xiao Yu. You are indeed Mom's darling." Ji Yu looked obedient. "What's wrong, Mom?" Liu Li shook her head. "There are things you don't need to worry about. Since he wants to be an ingrate, then don't blame her for kicking him out of this house." I leaned against the door listening to the sounds inside. "Let's go." I held Chu Yu's hand and left. Ji Yu fell and hurt his leg. Walking was inconvenient. The plan to find Lu Ruyan had to be shelved. Finally, the first day of school arrived. We both transferred from the old school to this new one. This is a university jointly sponsored by several wealthy merchants. The students are either rich or noble, so the admission procedures for Ji-yu and me went extremely smoothly. Today, I just wore the school uniform. Baggy but very neat. Yet it made Chu-yu's heart pound. She couldn't help sidling up. "Chen Fan is so handsome." I poked her head. Chu-yu squinted, letting me poke. Suddenly she asked, "Where is Chen Fan going?" My movement paused. Crap. Forgot to tell her. I rubbed her head and said, "Going to school." Sure enough, the girl's eyes, both soft and bright, gradually became sorrowful. Her mouth also pouted. "Can you not go?" I shook my head. "All right then." Chu-yu hugged me and nodded. Hearing this, my motion of adjusting my collar paused a bit. So well-behaved today. When leaving the door, I turned back to look. Chu-yu squatted at the door waving. I withdrew my gaze and sat in the car, because Ji-yu couldn't find the female lead. His tone was a bit annoyed. "Why are you so slow? Really sluggish?" I didn't bother with him. The car slowly rolled away. Chu-yu crumpled the hem of her shirt at the door, expression indifferent. Nearly half a month without being able to talk to Liu Ruyan. Ji-yu was a bit worried Liu Ruyan would forget him, secretly suffering. Even forgot to act his usual green tea style. No one nagging in my ear. I happily enjoyed the quiet. Just got out of the car. Ji-yu sharply saw a figure passing by not far away. A woman with meticulously combed hair, but her cold face was exquisite, with a fanfare of being waited on hand and foot. It's her, no mistake. Ji-yu didn't even have a chance to say a word, before rushing straight into the crowd. The driver had worked for the Chu family for many years. He knew well that Father Chu valued me highly. He took a bank card out of his pocket. "Young Master Chen Fan, the master told me to give this to you before we left. The master said this is something a father should give. There is money in the card. But Father Chu also wants to enjoy a little. The feeling of spending money like water on his son. I put it directly into my pocket. Everyone knew the two new students were from the Chu family. The Chu family has great power, so no one dared to mess with me. Then they discovered this new friend was very handsome, with a cold and indifferent personality, but not fierce at all, making them want to strike up a conversation. When school ended, the driver came to pick us up. I stood at the school gate with a deadpan expression. My hands and arms were stuffed full of exquisitely wrapped gift boxes. When getting in the car, several shy girls stuffed things into my hands and then ran away blushing. The driver smiled like he was looking at his own child. Young Master Chen Fan is really popular. I wanted to return them, but they ran too fast. When Ji came out, he saw this scene. His face looked a bit unsightly. He couldn't understand what on earth these girls saw in Chen Fan. Ji's mood was very irritable. He wished he could knock all that stuff out of my hands. Just now, Ji had excitedly gone looking for someone. He searched for a long time but found nothing. He was a bit disappointed. During the opening ceremony, he was surprised to discover that Liu Ruyan turned out to be the investor of this school. Today she came to give a speech as the school's founder. Isn't this destiny? Ji was eager to try. As soon as the ceremony ended, he hurriedly chased after her. Liu Ruyan was busy going back to handle work. She felt absolutely terrible. Why did I agree to attend this opening ceremony? Wouldn't it be better to spend this time reviewing 2 more files? While walking in a hurry, she felt someone tugging at her sleeve. She turned her head in confusion and saw a young man. She frowned. Who are you? Is something the matter? Jai Yu's shy expression stiffened. Liu Ruyan had indeed forgotten him. It's only been half a month and she already forgot him. What a player. When he looked up again, Ji tried to look strong while suppressing his hurt, looking extremely stubborn. It's me, Ji. Sister Liu. Liu Ruyan seemed to have a vague impression. Honestly, being called Sister Liu was a huge blow to her. She kept her expression steady, suppressing the urge to throw him to the ground. I don't know you. Liu Ruyan wanted to leave. Ji kept grabbing her tightly and wouldn't let go. How can you not know me? Did you forget? You helped me half a month ago. Without waiting for Liu Ruyan to speak, Ji let go of her hand. It's okay. You might not understand me well right now, but I've decided. Starting today, I will pursue you. You will definitely fall in love with me. Ji turned his head away arrogantly. Liu Ruyan was speechless. Is this guy an idiot? The assistant holding the file folder glanced back and forth between the two of them. This is spring coming for Sister Liu. Ji thought that by speaking so directly, Liu Ruyan would definitely see him in a different light, but when he turned back, Liu Ruyan had already dragged her assistant and run away. Ji stomped his feet. Damn it. He didn't believe that with his charm, Liu Ruyan could really reject him. I sat in my seat, stuffing all the things in my arms into the car, looking up at Ji. Are you coming? Ji was about to go crazy with anger. When he got in the car, next to him was full of my gifts. He immediately felt like the whole world was against him. When we were about to arrive at the Chu residence, from afar, I saw Chu Yu squatting at the gate, looking expectantly in my direction. As soon as she saw the car, she trotted over. The car door opened. Ji put on a gentle expression. Sister Yu, did you come out too? Welcome me? Chu Yu's dark black eyes looked at him. Ji's face stiffened. By the time he came back to his senses, Chu Yu had already shyly rushed into my arms. Chen Fan, I missed you so much. I touched her small hand. Can you come to my room to play for a while tonight? Chu Yu obediently nodded. Ji looked at our backs with a suspicious expression. Did Chu Yu just glare at him? It looked quite scary. Immediately after, he shook his head. How could that be? With that silly appearance of Chu Yu, if Chen Fan hadn't suddenly intervened, maybe he could be close to Chu Yu by now. Ji's face lit up. Currently, progress with Liu Ruyan is slow. Why not try again with Chu Yu? After all, Chu Yu currently is not so repulsive to acquaintances anymore. Chu Yu and I just reached the stairs. The driver chased in after us, holding and hanging full of gifts. He panted and said, Young Master Chen Fan, you haven't taken your gifts yet. Chu Yu has been studying hard lately. Hearing the driver's words, her face changed completely, looking like the sky was about to fall, her voice trembling. Chen Fan, do you want to like someone else? Father Chu has always been looking for teachers for Chu Yu. Although they couldn't get close, they interacted with her via video. Although Chu Yu closed herself off, her learning ability was extremely strong. She knew very well what it meant for me to receive so many gifts. She hugged me tightly. When the driver approached, she knocked the things off him. The driver scratched his head with a bewildered look. Young Master Chen Fan. I looked at him. Take them all away. I didn't want to accept them anyway. I looked down at Chu Yu, who was nuzzling against me. I chuckled softly. Chu Yu looked at me blankly. Her small face flushed red. She buried her head in my neck in frustration and whispered, Chen Fan, can you not go to school anymore? I didn't say anything. I held her hand and walked upstairs. Liu Li. who always picked Gu up every day, didn't know what she had been busy with these past 2 days. Gu decided to find some sense of existence when he saw Liu Li. She was sneaking out of Father Chu's room. Mom. Gu was a bit suspicious. Liu Li suddenly pulled him, quickly returning to her room. What's wrong, Xiao Yu? Did you look for me for something? Gu shook his head. Just missed you, Mom. Why did Liu Li have to sneak into Father Chu's room? Could it be that Mom has thought of a way to kick Chen Fan out of the Chu family? Thinking of this, Jiu's mood improved significantly. I've been very popular lately. Everyone was deceived by my appearance and liked me. Jiu found me extremely annoying. Waiting for several days, he didn't see Liu Li take any action. Instead, she kept going in and out of high-end shopping malls and beauty salons with a radiant face. Jiu went to Liu Ruyan's company several times. At first, the little assistant beside Liu Ruyan let him up, but the second time he came, he heard the receptionist say that assistant had been fired. Liu Ruyan really bullied people too much. Jiu continued to stalk and block her way. Liu Ruyan couldn't stand the harassment anymore, so she called the police. The reason was, when Jiu was taken away, he was completely bewildered. We said it was a love game. Can't you handle playing it? She not only called the police, she also gave each security guard a photo to block him outside, so Jiu went home with a wronged face. Just at dusk, there was no one in the villa courtyard. Chu Yu was sitting in the living room. The sunset light pierced through the large, magnificent floor-to-ceiling window, spilling onto the clean, fragile, yet exquisite profile of the young girl. Hearing the noise, she turned her head. She looked at Jiu with the exact same eyes as last time, just one glance. Then she lowered her head again, obediently holding the glass cup to drink water, probably waiting for me. Every evening at this time, we would walk on the lawn outside. Jiu felt an itch in his heart from that glance. Does Chu Yu like me now, having just been hurt by a woman? Jiu felt very uncomfortable inside. Jiu pouted aggrievedly and walked up to Chu Yu. Sister Yu, I am so sad. Chu Yu held the glass cup. Hearing that, her pupils moved slightly. I was upstairs just getting ready to come down, when I heard a piercing scream coming from downstairs. My heart tightened. I thundered down the stairs, only to see Jiu sitting on the floor in horror, on a pile of shattered glass. The girl's hands and feet were covered in blood. She just stepped barefoot on the sharp shards like that, seemingly not knowing what pain was, curling up and trembling slightly. I quickly walked over and picked her up. Jiu trembling grabbed the hem of my shirt. It wasn't me. I looked down at him from above. Jiu, don't get close to Chu Yu. Jiu clutched my trouser leg and wouldn't let go. It really wasn't me. I haven't done anything. Jiu recalled what just happened. He had just approached. Chu Yu, who was always obedient and quiet, suddenly went crazy. She not only smashed her cup, but also knocked over the crystal vase on the table. Shards scattered all over the floor. Chu Yu was like a crazy person. She kicked him to the ground. By the time Jiu recovered, Chu Yu was already covered in wounds from the glass shards. Jiu had never encountered a situation like this before. He screamed in fear. The girl covered in blood, with pitch-black eyes, was a huge shock to him. Seeing me carry her away now, he instinctively grabbed me. He couldn't let Chen Fan just leave like that. There are only the three of us right now. When others come later, what if Chen Fan frames me? I will definitely be kicked out of the house. Chen Fan. It really wasn't me. He hadn't finished his sentence. I didn't hesitate to kick him away. The most important thing now is Chu Yu. When Auntie Zhang ran over, she saw me flying down the stairs holding Chu Yu, coldly leaving behind the words "call the doctor." Auntie Zhang only then noticed Chu Yu's limbs and white shirt. Even my coat was stained with blood. Her face turned pale, and she tremblingly contacted the doctor. Jiu clutched his aching chest. He sat up with a pale face, kicked until he was dizzy. As soon as he sobered up, he heard Auntie Zhang contacting Father Chu. His already pale face became completely bloodless. At this moment, Jiu had only one thought. I am done for. Fine, Mom. Mom definitely won't let me be kicked out. Liu Li was having a skincare treatment at the beauty salon. Honestly, marrying into the Chu family compared to the life in her imagination was completely different. Father Chu controlled money very strictly. Her pocket money was almost gone after buying a handbag, but Liu Li was living very comfortably now. This ladylike lifestyle almost made her forget the plan to fight for favor and power, until she received a call from Jiu. On the other end, Jiu was crying with snot and tears, saying Chen Fan was about to kick him out of the house. After all, he was the adopted son who had been with her for many years. Jiu always had a sweet mouth and knew how to please her best, although she resented him a bit for his loose tongue last time. But as soon as Jiu cried, Liu Li felt heartbroken. What exactly happened? If he told the truth, Liu Li would definitely be the first to suggest Father Chu kick Chen Fan out, so he couldn't say it. Liu Li comforted him for a while, then said, I am coming home right now. Don't cry anymore. Hanging up the phone, Liu Li gritted her teeth. Chen Fan again. I had decided to play the role of the mistress of the Chu family well, living peacefully with Chen Fan. Does he have to cause trouble to make me and Xiao Yu unhappy? Liu Li took her phone out of her bag and sent a message. It's time. When Father Chu received the call from Auntie Zhang, he was preparing to discuss cooperation with a foreign investor. The company had serious internal conflicts recently. Other companies were eyeing them like tigers stalking prey, wishing they could tear a piece of meat from the Chu Group. This meeting was very important. If capital investment couldn't be raised, the Chu Group would officially fall into a crisis. Father Chu sat in his chair, holding the documents in silence, thinking about how he used to be a prominent figure. How did it come to this now? Father Chu thought 100 times but couldn't find the answer. When the phone rang, he answered without thinking. Calls from Auntie Zhang were usually related to Chu Yu. No matter how frustrating business was, he couldn't forget to care for his daughter. What is it, Auntie Zhang? Auntie Zhang's voice was trembling. Master, something happened to the young Miss and young Master Chen Fan. They are covered in blood. It happened suddenly, and he left in a hurry. Auntie Zhang only noticed that both of them were covered in blood, and that pile of blood-stained glass. She didn't know if I was hurt or not. Father Chu heard this. The file in his hand fell to the ground with a thud. Covered in blood. Father Chu was scared. Daughter, son-in-law, and business. He decisively chose the former, so he grabbed the coat on the chair and gave instructions to the assistant. He left without looking back. The foreign investor had just arrived, and saw a figure running away. After asking, they found out that was actually the CEO of Chu Group who wanted to discuss cooperation with them. Speaking a stream of not-so-fluent Mandarin, such a person is not worthy of cooperating with us. I placed her on the bed. The bleeding had stopped, but the glaring red color still made me frown. Taking the first aid kit out of the cabinet nearby, using tweezers to pull the glass shards embedded in her flesh out. Chu Yu's face was pale. She curled up in pain. My foot hurts. My voice was a bit cold. You stepped on it, knowing it would hurt. The imagined comfort did not come. Instead, she was exposed. Chu Yu opened her mouth pitifully. Chen Fan. I didn't mean to. He got close to me. I hate it. So she was agitated. Why hasn't Chen Fan come to hug her, kiss her, and comfort her yet? I pulled out another piece of broken glass, turning to look at her. The girl lost too much blood. Her face became even paler. Her lips had no color left. Her eyes were slightly red. My heart still softened a bit. I was gentler when picking out the glass shards. Chu Yu felt that it didn't hurt at all this time, but she wasn't happy. If it doesn't hurt, how can she pretend to be pitiful? If she doesn't pretend to be pitiful, Chen Fan won't pay attention to her. So Chu Yu sniffled and grabbed my hand. Chen Fan, strictly speaking, it hurts a lot. Chu Yu blinked her doe eyes, acting spoiled. Just then, the doctor arrived. I stood up and went out. Chu Yu watched helplessly as my back disappeared. The family doctor was a young man, looking very elegant and gentle. He had examined Chu Yu many times before, but this was the first time he saw such a miserable condition, and that boy just now seemed to be the master's stepson. Chu Yu never said a word in front of outsiders. Many times the doctor couldn't even get close. Father Chu always helped handle it. However, Chu Yu has been much more obedient lately. The doctor carefully applied medicine for her. Chu Yu lay on the bed with unfocused eyes. Is Chen Fan angry? The doctor talked to himself for a long time without feeling awkward. He was used to it anyway. I don't know how that guy is doing. I'll check on him later. As soon as he finished speaking, the girl turned her head, her dark pupils staring at him. He is fine. It was the first time the doctor received a response from Chu Yu. Then I won't go anymore. The girl only then turned her head away, starting another cycle of silence. When Father Chu hurriedly returned, the doctor was preparing to administer anti-inflammatory drugs to Chu Yu. He asked anxiously, "How is it?" The doctor's voice was gentle. The shards went in a bit deep, but it has been handled well. As long as there is no infection tonight, it shouldn't be a big problem. I was asking how my son-in-law is. He obviously saw Chu Yu. Isn't she fine here? Hearing Auntie Zhang say Chen Fan was also covered in blood, who could treat Chu Yu? It must be Chen Fan who took care of his daughter, despite being wounded, the doctor said. Master, rest assured, the young miss said he is fine. Yu. Can she talk to the doctor? Father Chu looked at Chu Yu in bewilderment. The other parties silently turned over, refusing to chat with him, and leaving him with a gloomy back. Father Chu's heart felt like it was stabbed, feeling a bit lost. Being fine is good, he muttered, wondering when his daughter would talk to him. The doctor hung the IV bottle and went out. Father Chu was just about to go see how I was. Chu Yu suddenly turned around. Dad. Father Chu instantly felt like spring flowers were blooming. He hurriedly turned back, squatting by the bed. What is it, daughter? Chu Yu looked at Father Chu. Gu. I hate him. Her eyes were lively and bright. Very few people could refuse her request. Father Chu knew Chu Yu wanted to kick Ji Yu out, but he is his wife's stepson after all. Wouldn't it be bad to kick him out? He was hesitating. Chu Yu turned over and ignored him. Father Chu walked to my room with a dejected face. I had changed into different clothes. I saw him and said, "Take Ji Yu away." Father Chu sensed something unusual. Chu Yu saying that might be capricious, but if I said that too, there must be a problem. His face slowly darkened. Was Yu Yu's incident caused by Ji Yu? I neither admitted nor denied it. Go check the camera yourself. The attitude of his daughter and son-in-law was a bit cold. Father Chu flinched. Watching it almost made him fume with anger. Must kick him out immediately. Last time he called his daughter mentally ill. This time he definitely provoked his daughter. Father Chu didn't feel at all that his daughter staged this herself. Chu Yu had a hard time getting better. Ji Yu provoked her again. Fortunately, Chu Yu's condition didn't worsen. Otherwise, he would send Ji Yu to prison even if he died. Father Chu was endlessly angry. He also felt extremely guilty towards his daughter. Just now when Chu Yu begged, he hesitated. Meanwhile, Ji Yu was hiding in his room filled with anxiety. Why hasn't Mom come back yet? Father Chu had already come looking for him, and Liu Li finally finished arranging her strategy. Just as she walked in the door, she saw Father Chu with an unsightly face, preparing to find Ji Yu. She covered her mouth in surprise. What's wrong? Did something happen? In this whole Chu family, perhaps only Ji Yu remembered her. Ji Yu didn't tell her. So Liu Li was completely unaware of Chu Yu's incident. Father Chu looked at her coldly. For the first time, he began to doubt. Why on earth did he marry this woman in the first place? Doing nothing all day, knowing nothing when asked. His daughter ended up like this and she still asks what's wrong. Liu Li stroked her hair. After the beauty treatment, she was gorgeous and charming. Honey, why are you looking at me like that? Father Chu was in no mood to watch her act crazy, preparing to go find Ji Yu to settle the score. Liu Li blocked him again. Honey, wait. Just now, when I entered, I met a master from afar. That person said a bunch of things that scared me to death. He said our family has invited a jinx inside. Father Chu looked at her with a strange gaze, suddenly remembering what I had told her earlier. Liu Li is bad luck for her husbands. His steps paused. And then, Liu Li didn't know what he was thinking. Thinking he was scared, she hurriedly added fuel to the fire. The master said, a young jinx has entered and will clash with our family's fortune. Isn't that Chen Fan? Father Chu wanted to flip this crazy woman over. He was just about to say something. A cold voice came from behind. I leaned against the corner of the corridor, looking at Liu Li. You actually believe this kind of talk? Liu Li retorted. What? My dad's company is having problems now. Don't you watch the news? Father Chu's expression was a bit unsightly. He hated business matters like this, not wanting them to affect his wife and children at home. But Liu Li just blurted it out like that. I coldly took 2 steps forward. So you think these words are true, right? Liu Li felt something was off, but she didn't think much of it. Yes, I believe it. It's definitely you, the jinx, who cursed our family. We must kick you out. I curled my lips into a smile. Is that so? I kicked the person from the corner beside me, sending him flying. Is this the guy you're talking about? A man with a small mustache, wearing a dark gray mouse suit, holding a banner in his hand, looking dignified. Written on it, divining by fingers, your destiny lacks me. Liu Li coughed lightly, stepping forward to pull him over. That's right, this is the master. She didn't notice the guilty look in the eyes of the man with the goatee. The fortune teller was also speechless. Originally, he was bullshitting at his stall when Liu Li suddenly showed up, saying her house had a reincarnation of a jinx, asking him to come and subdue it. The fortune teller's ancestors were indeed celestial masters, although by his generation, the bloodline had thinned. Basically, only scamming and trickery remained, but the thick bad luck on Liu Li, even someone as dull as him could see it. He didn't say anything. A thick stack of money slammed onto his stall, double payment upon completion. The fortune teller, thinking only a fool would refuse money, happily accepted the order. Today, after getting Liu Li's call, he came immediately, holding his banner, sitting on the living room sofa. He was silently lamenting that this family was about to be cursed to death by Liu Li. A handsome young man stood on the stairs, staring at him. This boy has good looks. One look and you know he has great fortune. I walked down the stairs, looking down at him. I heard you're very good at fortune telling. The fortune teller nodded. Just average. Average. Ranked 3rd in the world. Then did you calculate that today you would meet? Pausing for a moment, I forcefully reached out and grabbed his rather long hair, slamming him hard onto the ground. A bloody disaster? The fortune teller was instantly dazed by the smash. I grabbed his hair. Fists rained down on him like a storm. The fortune teller got angry. I punched him right in the forehead. My voice was cold. No swearing. The fortune teller looked at me aggrievedly, daring to be angry but not daring to speak. I wanted to say, stop pulling my hair. I am going bald. Let go. The fortune teller fell to the ground with a thud. He opened his eyes wide in confusion. Before he could finish speaking, my foot came kicking, switching sides. Do I look like I am giving you a choice? The fortune teller angrily crawled up. Immediately, I grabbed him and dragged him upstairs. Young man, you have no martial ethics. I was careless. Couldn't dodge in time. The fortune teller was full of resentment. If that woman Liu Li hadn't called him over, he wouldn't have been beaten up for no reason. This young man looks frail and weak, but he's truly ruthless when hitting people. Liu Li couldn't wait and looked at him. Master, quickly tell my husband, who exactly is the jinx you mentioned? The fortune teller stroked his mustache at a leisurely pace. This person is far away in the horizon, yet right before your eyes. Liu Li's eyes lit up. She looked coldly at me. Did you hear that? That person is Liu Li. The fortune teller withdrew his gaze. He sneered. I, the old Taoist, never lie. His sharp gaze shot towards Liu Li. All these years, the men who married you didn't have good endings, did they? Bankruptcies everywhere, deaths everywhere. Don't you have any self-awareness about yourself? Liu Li argued stubbornly. But that was also Chen Fan's father. On what basis do you say I cursed them? The fortune teller was speechless. Is this really your son? He snorted coldly at Liu Li. Shut up. The young master Chen Fan you speak of is a person of great fortune. The type who wins the lottery even with his eyes closed. Let me guess. When your husbands had accidents, was young master Chen Fan always absent? His luck is very good, but it can't withstand how extremely unlucky you are, Liu Li. This is why the Chen family lasted 12 years, while the Jai family only lasted barely 4 years. Liu Li was speechless. She looked pleadingly at Father Chu. Hubby, don't listen to this rotten fortune teller's nonsense. How could I be a jinx? Father Chu looked at her coldly. I recall you just said, the master's words are truthful and trustworthy. Just because that person isn't Chen Fan, but turned out to be you, now it's all fake. Father Chu looked down coldly. Pack your things and take Jiyu out of the Chu house. Terrified, Liu Li collapsed to the ground, miserably grabbing his pant leg. Hubby, please don't. We are husband and wife. How can you treat me like this? Father Chu looked at her. Have you fulfilled the responsibilities of a wife? He closed his eyes, feeling a bit helpless. I told you before we got married. Behave yourself. I won't give you love, but I won't lack in giving you the dignity a Mrs. Chu should have. Liu Li pulled at him. Hubby, I know I was wrong. She didn't want to be kicked out. Clearly, she was the one who married into the Chu family. But why did I, just a stepchild who followed her in, get everything that was supposed to belong to her? Chen Fan is her son. How could I just watch my mother be kicked out like this? Liu Li recalled my gentle and obedient appearance from before. I used to crave her attention the most. If she just cared for me a little, I certainly wouldn't have the heart to do this. So she threw herself in front of me. Chen Fan, I am your mother. Are you just going to watch your mother get kicked out? Her subsequent words were a bit hysterical. I coldly took a step back, ignoring her. The fortune teller clicked his tongue. Leaning against the wall, gloating as he watched the drama, he sneaked up close to me. Is this really your mom? I glanced at him. She's your mom. The fortune teller mumbled and backed away. This kid isn't cute at all, daring to treat his mother like that. Father Chu couldn't bear seeing Liu Li's state. Plus, she really is Chen Fan's biological mother. I glanced and immediately saw the softness in Father Chu's eyes. Dad, shouldn't you be worrying about your company a bit? Although he didn't know why he suddenly said that, since Father Chu was hesitating on how to deal with Liu Li, hearing this, he nodded. All right, the representative from the foreign investment firm, Mark, is someone extremely punctual. Father Chu no longer had any expectations for this partnership. Luckily, he still had one last resort. Thinking of this, he turned and went into his room. Liu Li smoothed her hair and stood up. She had no gratitude whatsoever for me speaking up to help. You brat. Couldn't you put in a good word for me with your dad earlier? The next second, Father Chu ran back, fuming with rage. His face was unsightly. Liu Li had just breathed a sigh of relief. Father Chu's questioning immediately made her heart jump to her throat. The safe hasn't been pried. The wires haven't been touched. This money was his last hope. The security at the Chu family villa is very good, so only people in the house could enter his room. It wouldn't be Chen Fan, and certainly not Chu Yuyu. His gaze fell on Liu Li. She often came to his room trying to seduce him. Seeing Liu Li's pale face and trembling body, what was there not to understand? Father Chu's heart went cold. Where did you take the money? It wasn't that he didn't give her pocket money. It's just that the company had problems recently, so the limit was reduced. He didn't even give daily pocket money to Yu Yu and Chen Fan. Liu Li knew about the company's situation well, yet she took that life-saving money. How could Father Chu not be disappointed? Liu Li was very scared. She always knew there was a safe in Father Chu's room. She didn't intend to use it, but times were too hard for her recently. she had to maintain relationships with the high society ladies. How could she do that without money? Wasn't this also to help Father Chu get business connections? Liu Li felt a bit wronged, but Father Chu looked at her like that. Hubby. Father Chu frowned, his tone cold and angry. I asked you where the money is, such a large amount. Liu Li was terrified. I used it for beauty treatments, bought clothes, bought bags. Where is the rest of the money? Father Chu said furiously. Liu Li quickly took a card out of her handbag. To avoid being discovered by Father Chu, she even deliberately opened a new card, not linked to Father Chu's main card. It's all here. Father Chu's tone was flat. He had seen through this woman. How much is left? Lai didn't know what Father Chu was thinking. Seeing his voice soften, she breathed a sigh of relief. Hubby, I just wanted to help you find business opportunities among the wives. You don't know, their husbands spoil them so much. Liu Li sounded a bit smug as she spoke. Unlike Father Chu, truly a steel straight man. I asked you how much money is left, Father Chu said impatiently. Liu Li mumbled. Over 5 million yuan. She wanted to hug Father Chu's arm and act coquettishly. Father Chu put the card in his pocket. Let's divorce. Liu Li was shocked. Isn't it just a little money? What's wrong with a wife spending some of her husband's money? Do you have to blow it out of proportion like this? Even with the Chen Fan incident earlier, Father Chu only said to send her somewhere else. She didn't believe Father Chu would be so heartless. Father Chu coldly left one sentence. Tomorrow, I will have the lawyer draft the divorce papers. Liu Li looked at Father Chu's resolute back, devoid of any attachment, finally realizing too late that she was truly done for. No matter how loud she cried and made a scene, Father Chu insisted on signing the divorce papers. If she didn't sign, he'd sue her for marriage fraud, extortion, and theft of property. Liu Li resentfully signed her name and received a divorce booklet, along with 2 million in divorce settlement. Father Chu ultimately didn't go to the extreme, giving nearly half of his current assets to Liu Li. Back home, Father Chu sat on the sofa, looking a bit tired, looking at his daughter and son-in-law beside him. From now on, you two will just have to suffer with me. I waved my hand, coldly pulled out a bank card. That won't happen. Father Chu was stunned for a moment, then burst into laughter. Indeed, still a good son-in-law. Chen Fan, you keep your money. I don't need it. I am already filthy rich thanks to stock trading and financial management. To be honest, I don't even care about this pocket change. But since Father Chu wants to save face, I push the bank card forward. It's fine. You can let me buy shares. Just like that, I became a major shareholder of the Chu Group. Shares second only to Father Chu. And Father Chu, relying on this money, plus not having Liu Li around anymore, quickly stabilized the company's situation, which was on the verge of bankruptcy. Moreover, the foreign investor Mark later on learned about that life-taking flying kick that day was actually for his daughter and son-in-law. He was extremely moved. Oh my God, it's truly too touching. The French are indeed like the rumors say, with hot hearts and hot blood, so the cooperation succeeded just like that. In just a few short months, the massive Chu Corp that was on the brink of destruction rose again once more, even more prosperous than before. This legendary news was quickly reported widely. The internet was buzzing with discussion. Some netizens suspected Chu Corp's sudden collapse earlier might have been due to some curse, and now its sudden rise could very well be due to some unknown mystical force. Regardless of what the internet said, Father Chu has been working extremely passionately recently, with a tendency to take Chu Corp, for the sake of his daughter, to develop it even bigger and more badass. I already knew Liu Li was using Father Chu's private money. Because the company was in chaos, the pocket money Father Chu gave to the family was severely cut. But during that very time when Chu Corp was struggling the most, Liu Li was dressed up, her skin maintained rosy and glowing, shopping for all kinds of luxury goods until her hands were tired. Most importantly, she didn't come to trouble me. This was very unusual. I also knew about the safe in Father Chu's room. A little thought and I knew roughly what had happened. Suddenly, the door lock made a slight sound. It was Chu Yu coming. I lay on the bed, closing my eyes, staying motionless. Recently, my attitude towards Chu Yu has been a bit cold. Indeed, rarely like before, going to her room every day to comfort her, mainly because I was also helping out, monitoring the situation at Chu Corp a bit. Just that, no other reason. Thinking back, I did neglect that clingy girl a bit. Chu Yu sneakily pried the door open, sneaking into my room. She stood by the bed watching me for a long time. A long while later, she climbed onto the bed, handcuffing my hand to the headboard. Chu Yu looked with satisfaction at the handcuffed boy, looking at me with an extremely resentful yet aggrieved expression, mumbling softly, "Chen Fan, don't be mad. I just want to be with you for a while longer. Handcuffed like this, you won't be able to run out all day anymore. It's all Chen Fan's fault. Why didn't you come visit me? She tilted her head and leaned on my chest. I really missed you, Chen Fan. Don't ignore me. Don't abandon me. When saying this, her voice was so small it was almost inaudible. I wanted to say I didn't reject her, but speaking up now wouldn't be very appropriate. Forget it. I waited for a long time but didn't see Chu Yu's next move. Suspiciously glancing over, I saw her lying prone on my chest, asleep since, who knows when, until the new day's sun rose from the east. Chu Yu blinked her innocent doe eyes. Good morning, Chen Fan. She puckered her lips and kissed my face lightly. Indeed, as long as I am not embarrassed, the one embarrassed is someone else. I tugged at the clanking handcuffs, silently looking at her. Chu Yu hugged me, refusing to let go. Her tone was urgent and fast. I don't mean anything else. Just stay by my side like this, Chen Fan. Okay. She gloomily leaned on my shoulder. Chen Fan, I beg you. I sighed. I didn't say no. It's just that being handcuffed like this isn't exactly comfortable, as long as you're happy. Chu Yu heard another layer of meaning. She grabbed a book and leaned against me. Even if you get mad, I won't let go. Over here, the romance was sticky sweet. On Liu, Li, and Jiu's side, life wasn't so easy. Liu Li, even as a mistress, didn't want to divorce, but upon hearing the lawyer say the money Father Chu gave her was nearly half his fortune, Liu Li immediately stared, wide-eyed and open-mouthed. Is Father Chu this poor now? Plus the news and TV constantly reporting all kinds of recession stories. And Father Chu's attitude was resolute. If she didn't divorce, she'd be sued. Fine then. Since both sides look at each other with disgust, why force being together? Taking Jiu along, Liu Li hurriedly rented a small villa. Jiu originally resented Liu Li. He didn't really want to leave, but he had no place in the Chu household. Liu Li seemingly got a decent sum from the divorce. Moving into the new house, both were very happy inside. They popped champagne. Liu Li appeared quite delighted. Indeed, living on one's own feels happier. Though it was luxurious at the Chu house, she always felt like she was mooching off them. Jiu chimed in with her. As long as I am by your side, Mom, I feel very happy. The two clinked glasses to celebrate their new life. Just then, the TV reported the latest moves of Chu Corp. Chu Corp received new investment capital. For now, the downturn has been halted. Both Liu Li and Jiu's faces didn't look too good. They just left the Chu house, and the Chu family immediately got better. Isn't this a slap in their faces? Jiu smiled. Mom, Chu Corp is just experiencing a dead cat bounce. Liu Li felt relieved hearing that, but said out loud, Xiao Yu? Don't say that, although they wronged me. Chu Corp getting better is also what I want to see. Another 2 months passed. Chu Corp received foreign investment, its reputation soaring, showing vague signs of coming back from the dead. Jiu stayed holed up at home binge-watching shows. Just as Liu Li returned from the beauty salon, Jiu felt a bit disappointed she wasn't living up to expectations. Mom, have you found a job yet? Liu Li's gaze was a bit evasive. I am looking. What job? She still had money. Just buying fewer luxury goods would let her last a while. Deal with it when the time comes. Jiu was speechless, but he couldn't force Liu Li to find a job. Sadly, both were used to a wealthy life. In the end, they couldn't curb their spending hands. However, in just a short month, over 2 million yuan was squandered almost entirely. When Jiu skillfully swiped the card but it reported insufficient funds, he was stunned. Turns out money runs out that fast. The shop assistant, originally fawning, heard the notification sound. Her expression collapsed in an instant. Thought they were some big shots. Turns out they're just empty vessels making noise. This is a famous luxury goods store. Many designs are branded items you can't buy elsewhere. The assistant's mockery left Liu Li with no face. She instinctively retorted, Who are you calling an empty vessel? The assistant couldn't be bothered to argue with her. Customer, please put our store's items down. Thank you. Liu Li carried her shopping bag with an unsightly expression. Snobbish dogs looking down on people. She hurriedly dropped the items and left without looking back. No money. Liu Li and Jiu truly found it hard to move a single step. Neither looked for a job, blaming each other instead. Jiu looked at Liu Li, who was forcing him to find a job, covering his mouth in shock. Mom, how can you make me work? I still have to go to school. Would you really let me drop out? You used to say I was the smartest. I will definitely take good care of you in the future. They stayed home for another few days. The last few thousand yuan were eventually eaten away. Liu Li had no choice but to go out and look for work. But Liu Li wasn't originally someone with high education or great capability. In the original plot, she relied on her husband early on, relied on her son in the middle, relied on her daughter-in-law in the end. Liu Li was absolutely a parasite. Now the husband is gone. The obedient son has rebelled. The future daughter-in-law was cut off directly. Liu Lai could only find a dishwashing job because the dishes weren't washed clean, getting scolded by that vicious female boss every single day. At first, Liu Li could still talk back, but her little bit of arguing skill compared to the boss who had spent years in the marketplace was truly like an amateur trying to show off before a pro. Liu Li was scolded until she shrank back like a quail, daring not to utter a single peep. She walked down the street in a daze. Since when did she become someone who only cared about money and only knew about romantic affairs? She and her own biological son, since when did they start living like enemies, worse than strangers? Liu Li dragged her exhausted body back home to make ends meet. The high-end villa rented earlier had been returned. The two of them squeezed into a small apartment. Gu, lying on the sofa, looked up. Did you bring food back? Liu Li threw the lunchbox onto the tea table and sat down opposite him. Her face looked incredibly weary. In just a few short months, she had become extremely haggard. Xiao Yu, you should go out and find a job too. Many college students nowadays work while studying. Gu was still studying at his old school. Hearing this, he frowned. I said I'd be filial to you once I graduate, didn't I? It's not a matter of graduating or not. The problem was she had no money left to support his schooling. People at school still thought Gu was the young master of the Chu family. They were very ingratiating towards him. If he went to work part-time to earn money, if people saw him, wouldn't his cover be blown? Gu rolled his eyes. Mom, can you go find Chen Fan and ask for some money first? Although you and Father Chu are divorced, Chen Fan is still at the Chu house, isn't he? Who would have thought the Chu Group would suddenly come back from the dead? Even the Liu family couldn't compare anymore. Just thinking about seeing me picked up by luxury cars at school every day, while he had to sneak into school so no one would notice. Gu couldn't hold back his jealousy. Liu Lai sighed heavily. I have no relationship with the Chu family anymore. But Chen Fan is your biological son. You're living so miserably, while he lives in silk and satin. He's being unfilial, Gu said angrily. Liu Li was moved and hesitated a bit. Maybe we shouldn't. She really didn't have the face to see Father Chu and Chen Fan anymore. That night, Liu Li had a dream. She dreamed she married Father Chu. The Chu family was also declining day by day, but unlike reality, the Chu Group didn't come back to life. She wasn't abandoned by Father Chu either. It was she who couldn't stand the debt collectors and divorced Father Chu. Chen Fan wasn't rebellious at all. Every day, he followed her around, calling her mom. He didn't complain about her at all. After she divorced, I worked odd jobs to earn money, supporting her and Gu to get by. They lived a flashy life, while Chen Fan grew thinner and thinner like an old man near death. Gu married a very wealthy wife, even richer than Father Chu was before. He happily went off to enjoy his fortune, while Chen Fan passed away early on a sunny afternoon. Liu Li didn't get to live the life of a noble lady as she imagined, because Gu despised her. He believed that since Liu Lai cursed his biological father to death, she cursed his family until it was ruined. Liu Li ultimately still had to live a life of washing dishes, like a stinking bug living in the sewer. She woke up in shock. Tears had soaked her pillow without her noticing. Liu Li finally realized she was wrong. Her son, who once wholeheartedly only cared about this mother, was ultimately tormented to death by her. The desire to see Chen Fan became stronger than ever. Today is the 10th day Chu Yu has kept me at home. The soft, fair-skinned girl looked at me innocently. Chen Fan, stay with me for one more day. Okay? She's been saying this sentence for days now. I was a bit speechless. I don't know what she told Father Chu, but Father Chu wasn't worried about me at all. Instead, he even helped ask for leave from school. I sighed, reaching out to poke her soft cheek. I promise you, I won't go to school. Let go of me. Chu Yu held on to me tightly and wouldn't let go. I don't believe you. Chen Fan is definitely tricking me. I am not tricking you, I said helplessly. Chu Yu nuzzled against my face, having tasted the sweetness. Chu Yu refused to let go of me no matter what. She kissed me on the cheek. Is Chen Fan hungry to keep me here? Chu Yu's illness seemed to heal completely overnight. I'll go to the kitchen to get food. This time, she wasn't afraid of strangers anymore. As soon as Chu Yu left, I leaned back against the headboard, bored, reading a book. Suddenly, the system spoke up. Host, Liu Li is here. She's causing a scene at the gate. I said, let's go take a look. Reaching out to pull the handcuffs at the head of the bed, with a snap, they were crushed to pieces. Since Liu Li used to come and go frequently in this area, the security guards didn't stop her. So Liu Li successfully reached the Chu house. Aunt Zhang coldly blocked her at the door. Mrs. Liu, what are you doing here? Liu Li felt a bit embarrassed, but her heart was full of the desire to see me. Aunt Zhang, I came to find Xiao Fan. Aunt Zhang immediately looked at her warily. Why are you looking for young Master Chen Fan? He's not home. Liu Li's voice was a bit urgent. How can he not be home? If he doesn't come home, what else can he do? Aunt Zhang, Don't lie to me. Chen Fan is my son too. You have no right to stop a mother and son from meeting. Aunt Zong was a bit speechless. How would I dare interfere in the owner's business? Young Master Chen Fan really isn't home. Liu Li wanted to barge in. She hadn't seen me for days. Let me in and check. Then she saw me walking downstairs with a cold expression. Liu Li's eyes lit up. Xiao Fan, are you willing to see Mom? She straightened her clothes. Xiao Fan, come home with Mom. Mom knows she was wrong. I'll treat you well from now on. I'll love you like before. She spoke very earnestly, but I was completely unmoved. What does that have to do with me? Liu Li stepped back in disbelief. Xiao Fan, you don't need Mom anymore. I took a step back, asking instead of answering. Do you really know you were wrong? Without waiting for her to answer, I spoke again. Or is it just because you want an excuse to return to being wealthy? I took a bank card out of my pocket. Don't ever appear again. Liu Li stared blankly at the bank card thrown in front of her, looking at Chen Fan, high and mighty, completely out of reach. She finally knew she couldn't go back. Congratulations, host, on fulfilling the original owner's wish. The system notification sounded. I turned around coldly. I saw Chu Yu standing not far away with a gloomy expression. Before I could even stand steady, Chu Yu trotted over and hugged me tightly. Her voice was fierce but very cute. Bad guy. She had just returned to the room. Seeing the broken handcuffs terrified her. She thought I had disappeared, that she had to be lonely, all by herself again. I patted her back gently. Since you're cured, you can't be this clingy anymore, Chu Yu said in a faint voice. Don't go. Since the mission was almost done, I was in a pretty good mood. I kissed her ear lightly. Chu Yu went limp immediately. The system notification rang out too. Conquest complete. Later, Aunt Sang and Father Chu found out I hadn't gone anywhere. I was completely hidden in the house by Chu Yu. From that day on, Aunt Shang and Father Chu looked at Chu Yu with slightly strange eyes. This child, she either does nothing, or she does something shocking. Chu Yu didn't care about other people's gazes at all. Since that day, she practically stuck to me. Father Chu thought to himself, I really judged wrong. How can anyone say there's nothing going on? Those two are clearly already in love. Only the final step is missing. So he went to find the two people sticking together like glue. Mostly, it was Chu Yu clinging to my young body and not letting go. Father Chu's eyes were a bit serious. Chu Yu hugged me, looking at Father Chu warily, like a mother hen protecting her chicks. Father Chu sighed inwardly. A grown daughter really can't be kept at home. Looking at me, he felt comforted again. Luckily, his daughter's taste in men wasn't bad. Yu, Xiao Fan, you two should get married, Father Chu said happily. At the Chu Group's shopping mall, I held a cup of bubble tea in my hand. The beautiful girl beside me looked at me expectantly. Chen Fan, do you still want a drink? Receiving my approving look, Chu Yu's eyes lit up, taking the bubble tea from my hand. In the moment our fingers touched, two rings, one large and one small, were unusually dazzling. Chu Yu held my hand, while obediently sipping the bubble tea in small sips. Mommy, shame on them. A little girl laughed and said. Chu Yu turned her head and huffed coldly. What does a kid know? The little girl made a funny face, immediately hiding behind her mother's legs shyly, sneaking a peek with the corner of her eye. But that beautiful couple had already walked far away. Later on, I want to find a handsome big brother to marry too. The woman laughed in surprise. Why? Because the bubble tea the big brother drank from looks delicious. The woman poked her daughter's forehead gently. Who told you to look for a big brother later on? Huh? But the little girl felt the way the big sister looked drinking bubble tea just now seemed very happy. Yu walked out of the clothing store next door, watching my back as I left, holding Chu Yu's hand. The money I gave them in the end didn't help them last very long. Liu Li continued her dishwashing job, and when Yu was at school, his identity was finally discovered. Facing all kinds of ridicule, he couldn't stay any longer. The store manager frowned. Yu, what are you doing? Hurry back and serve the customers. He had a numb expression. Got it. Yu and Liu Li achieved nothing in the end. The system notified me of their ending. I couldn't care less. Rubbing Chu Yu's head beside me, Chu Yu looked at me obediently and happily. Suddenly, her expression changed slightly. She spaced out for a moment, then looked at me. Chen Fan, call me big sister. Let me hear it. The girl's voice was low and cold, as if she hadn't spoken for a very long time. I vaguely remembered. A long time ago. In my memory, there was also someone looking at me expectantly. Chen Fan, call me big sister. Let me hear it. My dark eyes fell on her, and I let go of her hand. Not knowing what I was thinking, it took a long time to come back to my senses. The girl looked at me expectantly. What's wrong? Chen Fan, why aren't you holding my hand anymore? I shook my head and held her hand. Nothing. Thinking for a moment, I leaned close to her ear and whispered,